Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about a crime drama film called The Fall of the American Empire from 2018. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. The movie shows us the Delatech restaurant. Pierre is talking to his girlfriend, explaining how difficult it is to be smart, because fools don't think about the consequences and start believing in things they didn't want to believe before. The girl tells him about her dream. She wants to take her son on a trip, but so far this dream cannot come true because of financial problems. She asks him why he has never confessed his love for her in the year and a half of their relationship, and Pierre replies that he cannot say what he does not understand. They break up and the girl leaves, telling Pierre that she feels sorry for him because he will always be lonely. Two guys in a nice car drive up to a car with an electric lock. One of them takes a picture of the car's serial number and, standing next to it, makes a fake car key. They open the car and drive away. While Pierre is talking to the newspaper seller, the two guys who stole the car break into the store and take a huge amount of money in a bag. A car with a bald man at the wheel pulls up to the store. Suspecting something is wrong, he drives up to the back entrance. Picking up an assault rifle, he enters the store and calmly walks through the building. Pierre works as a courier. He came to deliver a parcel. A bald man sees the bandits through the blinds and bursts into the room. One of the bandits throws a gun and the other shoots him in the chest, but the man also hits the criminal. One of them runs away and the man runs after him. On the way out, the criminal is wounded, drops his bag, and runs away. The man with the assault rifle is shot in the back by the second guy, but he manages to turn around and eliminate him. Running out into the street, he falls dead. Seeing the money in the bag, Pierre grabs both bags and throws them into the car. He is stopped by the police. The surviving bandit successfully makes it to the car and drives away. While Pierre is being interrogated by the police, one of the detectives looks into Pierre's van, but a car pulls up and distracts her. The store owner appears. He tells them that he has lost his heat of security. The police promise him that they will start looking for him. Pierre brings the bags of money home, and the wounded guy obviously goes to the doctor and asks him to heal. He will return the money later. Pierre hides some of the money at home and takes the rest to a mini warehouse. In the evening, Pierre has a drink with a homeless friend. He tells him about his dream. He wants a small house. Pierre and his friend hear on the TV how one of the brain gangsters is released. He is in prison for banditry. Pierre guesses that maybe this is the chance he needs. After Brain gets out of prison, Pierre is waiting for him. He says he needs a financial advisor, and Brain looks at his car, starts joking, and walks away. But Pierre catches up with him at the bus stop and gives him a card with his number on it. He says he has too much money. The police come to the mother of the wounded gangster and ask her if she has seen her son in recent days. She answers that she hasn't. They give her a business card and ask her to give it to her son if she sees him. As the police approach the car, we see the mother handing the business card to her son. At night, Pierre visits adult websites and texts one of the girl's quotes from books. Finally, he meets up with Brain, and while Pierre is mumbling about money again, Brain says he needs all the information and clear answers. He walks away. The next day, a hot beauty comes to Pierre's office. She introduces her bodyguard and shows him the panic button. At the house, Pierre asks why she calls herself Aspasi. She tells him that Aspasi was the first of the call girls, and the guy says that she was a friend of Socrates. Pierre takes the envelope with the money to put it in the box. In the kitchen, Pierre is worried, and Aspasi seems to be trying to calm him down. She asks him to go get a tie. When he comes out, she checks how much money is in the box. She ties his hands with the tie and proceeds to make love to him. But in the middle of the most exciting moment, she gets a call from the guard saying that the police are here. She runs away, and the police recognize her from a previous case. They ask where Pierre got the money for the girl, who is very expensive. He answers that he is friends with her. They warn Pierre that he is involved in a very dangerous case. The bandits pushed the wounded man into a car and drove away. The police arrived at the office of the Courier service administrator. They found out that Pierre had been in the store for about 3 hours and then went home. The boy's mother calls the police and says that her son disappeared yesterday afternoon. Pierre comes to Brain's house. He guesses that the money belongs to the gang and cannot be spent. They go to the warehouse. There, Brain also learns from Pierre that he has already spent the money on a girl he introduced to the cops as his girlfriend. Brain is disappointed with Pierre. The guy doesn't answer where the money is, and they twist his arm. On the street, the mafioso tells the owner of the safe that he is responsible for the money, but the guy doesn't really know where it is. Pierre texts Aspasi while she is working. He wants to meet tomorrow. A dog is barking at the landfill. A security guard takes it on a leash and finds the guy in a car. In the hospital, doctors say that he needs a long rehabilitation, but he will survive. Aspasi comes to visit Pierre. At this time, the police are watching her from a car nearby. After dinner, Pierre invites Aspasi for a walk in the park. She changes her shoes and lets her bodyguard go home. Pierre tells her that since she came to him, he has been thinking only of her. Meanwhile, the agents are listening to all their conversations. They meet the Dawn on the roof of a high-rise building, and Pierre tries to find out her real name. But she says it's impossible. They head to the warehouses, but the bags of money are gone. Aspasy received a phone call and was about to leave, but the police showed up and called her Camille Lafontaine. On the street, the police show Pierre what happened to the guy at the dump and show him how they tortured him. Pierre and Camille go to see Brain. Pierre tells Camille that Brain is unlikely to be there. As soon as Pierre opens the door, he attacks Brain, throws him on the bed, and shows him his money. He tells Pierre that he learned from his friends in the police that they were being followed and decided to take the money. He asks Pierre to come up with an alibi for the bags. They all get to know each other, and even Brain's daughter, whose name is Cindy. Brain tells them that they won't be followed all the time because it's too expensive, but now it's better to be careful at all times. From the guy in the hospital, the policeman learns that the store owner hired them to rob his store because he is not paid enough by the mafia. Camille, Pierre, and Brain hide the boy's treasure next to Brain's. At the same time, Brain refuses to let Pierre help the boy from the hospital because they are forbidden to approach him under any circumstances. The shopkeeper is required to repay the debt, but he doesn't know where to get the money. As he is about to leave, the police arrive, and after a short dialogue, he is released. He is offered help, but he refuses. Pierre arrives at Camille's house and thinks that he is the first man in her house, but she interrupts him and says that she had a husband. She got the apartment after the divorce. Pierre throws money on the table to pay her for the day's work. She tells him that he can't leave the money here. Brain comes to the guy from the hospital and tells him that a Chinese man is coming for him. He must go with him and save himself because the government always deceives us. Pierre comes to his ex-girlfriend and gives her an envelope with money for his son's trip. In a coffee shop, they discuss that they need a financier. Camille has connections with the most important people in this field. They decide to go to a meeting with Pierre's financier and convince him to work with them. Camille arrives at the office where Pierre meets her. As soon as they enter the building, they are immediately followed by agents. While they are running around the office looking for Camille and Pierre, they have already agreed with the financier on an illegal investment. As soon as they leave, an agent enters the floor. He goes to the financier. They don't ask him anything, and the agent tells him that people like the financier ruined his father's career, and instead of going to the math department, he went to police school. On the ground floor, the agent's employee offers him a place to stay. After the night with Camille, the agents wait for Pierre. They ask about the man who went with him to the warehouse. Pierre comes up with an alibi that the bags contained clothes, and that the man who went with him was Bill, a homeless man. The woman asks to see the clothes that bother Camille, and Camille asks for a search warrant, but it is not yet available. In the museum, the financier talks to Brain and finds a tactic to move money abroad without taxation. A police informant comes to the church. In the confession room, he tells the agent that they found Brain with the help of his daughter, and the police are already following him. The police arrive at the store owner's house and inform him that he is being hunted. The police offer him protection, but he shows them the amulet and says that he believes in its protection. They meet in a park and discuss that the money will pass through the world and end up in Switzerland. There, they will be able to spend it at their own discretion. The financier takes out a flash drive with information and gives it to Camille. He says that the guy is lucky to have Camille. At this time, the police are taking pictures of them. Pierre asks Brain to spend some money for his friend, but he refuses. Camille offers to lend him her money. At the bank, she opens her safe deposit box and says that she has many of them all over the city. That's where she keeps her savings. She trusts only cash because the state cannot control it. She asks Pierre to take as much money as he needs. Brain makes a deal with Pierre's ex. She says she will find an office for the charity. The guy is already rehabilitating in a gym, and the store owner is being liquidated in his own store. The police realize that the money will be taken abroad, but they don't yet understand how. While the financier is making arrangements with his friends, the cops come to him and show him the photos. The financier again runs away from all answers. Brain and Camille dig up the money. Pierre is being followed, and he leads the cops to the office. While he walks around the building, Brain and Camille bring the money into the office. The cops agree to search everyone except the financier. The police have a search warrant and need people to conduct the search, but all the cops are at student rallies, so they will have to wait 2 hours. Pierre gives the bag of money to a woman who is supposed to count it. The police are given people to search, and they move on. They let the last client go, and Brain deletes everything from the laptop and sends it to the container. At this time, the police are already outside the building. The last customer leaves the building, and Pierre's ex takes the container to a store to sell. The police find nothing, but realize that they are being deceived. At the golf club, a girl approaches the financier and says that she is a friend of Aspazy's. She is worried about him and asks him to meet her at the hotel. In the evening, the financier arrives at the hotel room and the girl is waiting for him. As soon as he gives her the envelope, police agents suddenly appear and arrest him. The next day, Pierre sees the agents coming to the aid center again. He approaches them and tells them that if they are sitting around, they should at least help. The agent helps Pierre in the kitchen, and Pierre talks about the bad system. You can't protect bosses and put workers in jail. The girl tells Camille that it's unusual to see her here, and she replies that she can't explain or tell anything. They bring in the homeless man from the beginning of the film who dreamed of a home. Camille gives him her apartment. He is shocked. On the street, he hugs Camille and gives her a bracelet. He asks Pierre to help with the tour on Sunday. Camille will come too. At the end, we are shown footage of homeless people asking for help, just as Pierre did throughout the movie. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.